here I am, giving everything I got. Well, here I am.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Durrell here. I'm here for another daily fantasy baseball video tonight, brought to you by DFSR.com and LineupLab.com. Tonight we're going to have a look at some of the weather across the MLB landscape using the Lineup Lab tool. We're going to look at some starting lineups that have come in here today, as well as going to go through some of my top pitchers using my daily fantasy pitching chart. And then we're going to throw all that together and we're going to go through a couple of my top GPP stacks for the night using the optimizer. So with that, let's jump right in. A couple of weather concerns for tonight that are coming up. It starts in Pittsburgh. I wrote about Chad Cole in my pitchers article today. I like him if the weather, if they're going to play, profiles well with some K upside versus the Brewers. The problem is there's 50 to 80% chance of rain throughout the game, so I'm going to monitor that radar as we get closer to game time. And you can come in the DFSR chat room, and I'll be there updating the weather as it comes in, getting closer to lock. The other concern right beside us here, Miami at New York. It's rained in New York this afternoon, so it's going to be a little wet. Rain kind of tapers off around game time, 15 to 20%. Picks up maybe a little bit later in the night, 35-40% chance, but maybe a small delay at the end or early. I'd say maybe 5 to 10% chance the game gets shut down early. So not really concerned there. And as you can see, the Mets, as you're going to see, the Mets are going to be one of my top stacks of the night. See if the Mets lineup, yeah, it hasn't quite come in yet, so we do have some lineups that have come in so far. Some of the top pitchers that I like, we'll go over to the pitcher chart here. I've sorted by DraftKings price, highest to lowest. So my top pitcher of the night is going to be Steven Strasburg. Been running some polls, kind of checking ownership, and it feels like a lot of people are going to be going towards Keuchel tonight. I myself like Strasburg with some more K per 9, even though it only shows 7.97. Don't be scared. He's like a 10 to 11 for his career with the K per 9 rate. So not too concerned about that. And then looking at the Phillies, their WOBA versus right hand, they are a little bit better, but it is good to see that they are in that upper 23% range when it comes to K percentage versus right hand. My second pitcher, I like, they're right here grouped together. So as you can see, I like paying up for my pitchers tonight on DraftKings, especially on a Coors slate. I think you can get some little bit of separation running two high-end pitchers and then maybe hand picking one or two guys from the Coors game. The Arizona side's the side I like. I'll go over that in a bit as well. But it's going to be Kenta Maeda and Chris Archer. Archer gets to face the Blue Jays, and when we start looking at the Blue Jays lineup, you got Kevin Pillar. We got Batista there, so we've got a little bit of power upside there, but you got a lot of K upside for Archer as well. We've got Russell Martin. He's moved all the way up to third. Kendrys Morales hasn't been too outstanding for the Jays so far, and then it just kind of peters off as you get down the lineup. So I really like what we have for Archer tonight. And then Kenta Maeda gets one of the best matchups of the night. Not too concerned about his ERA. As you can see, his xFIP's almost half of that. Not walking very many guys and getting over 14% swinging strike rate. So he's getting a lot of swings and misses. And he faces the Padres, who are striking out more than any other team in baseball versus right-handed pitching. So definitely a great pitching option there. And then, like I said, the only other pitcher, if I'm going to be going, Arizona stacks, is I'm going to look at that Pittsburgh game and probably go with Chad Cole. He, as you can see, he's just over average K per 9 rate. He doesn't give up a whole lot of home runs, which is nice to see. He does get some swinging strike rate, so there's some positives there with him. He's had 2 quality starts, which comes into play on FanDuel. 2 quality starts in his 5 starts, so things aren't too bad. The thing that's really drives his upside is going to be the K percentage of the Brewers, just behind the Padres, are the worst in the league. So those are my pitching options. So now we're just going to jump over to the optimizer and take a look at some of the top stacks. So we're in the DraftKings optimizer here. We're going to click on the 705 slate. And I'm going to just quickly run the optimizer, see what we got here, and then I'm going to run my stacks. One of the polls that I ran on Twitter today on the DFSR Twitter account was your favorite stack of the top 3 projected teams, Boston, Colorado, and Arizona. Overwhelmingly, Boston and Colorado are sitting around 36-37%, while surprisingly, to me anyway, Arizona's sitting around 25-26%. I mean, that's a small sample size of votes, so don't take too much from that. I just started doing this just to kind of get a grasp in the afternoon before I do my videos, just to kind of see where everyone, the public, is thinking. So definitely, if you're going that game, you're going the Coors game, I definitely lean to Arizona. As you can see, the optimizer so far right now is like in the Colorado side of things, but I do not believe the lineups are in for that game yet. So keep an eye on the optimizer. It will update. You're going to see a reload page show up here whenever the lineups start coming in. We see more stuff and things have made changes. So as you can see, Strasburg and Archer are already there as the top, so I'm just going to automatically lock them in. And then the stack that I like outside of Coors, we're not going to talk them. It's pretty straightforward. Coors play them. Boston, they're the third highest projected. They're going to be chalky as well. So I'm going to go over just a couple of my favorite stacks that are going to be hopefully under 10% owned as a whole. And the first one comes with the Chicago White Sox. So we're just going to kind of go look at their lineup quick. Yeah, so they're playing Wade Miley. And with Miley, the one thing I noticed here, due for a little bit of a regression when you're looking at the ERA xFIP. He does have that K per 9 rate, but he's given up a lot of hard contact, and the White Sox, as you can see, aren't that great against righties, but are dominating top 5 team against left-handed pitching. So I don't think they're going to be high owned just because people have seen Miley's success early in the season. So I'm going to be definitely on the White Sox and looking at 1 through 4. I love that Todd Frazier out of the lineup, so Avisel Garcia moves up into the 4 hole. So I don't see any reason not to go 1 through 4 there. So that's the first one I'm going to create here. The first one. So we are going to go Abreu, Tim Anderson, we'll start with those 3. Melky was the one I forgot. I'm going to add him here. And we'll lock in Melky. So there's the 1 through 4 for White Sox with Strasburg and Archer. And just going to see what the optimizer is going to fill in around them. So on the first one here, Colton Wong, he's leading off today, so he's a great value at 2,700, definitely. And we're looking at DraftKings, by the way, as you can tell, probably already tell by the 2 pitchers. Got a little punt with Manny Pena in there for Milwaukee. Again, we're going to have to pay attention to the Pittsburgh game because it's also got Josh Harrison in there as well. And then we're throwing in Benintendi. I really love that lineup, so I'm definitely going to keep that one. I've already saved that one and entered it in, so we'll go from there. Next stack that I really like, I talked about in chat all day, is we're going to reset the projections here, is the New York Mets. They're facing Tom Kohler. He's given up a home run in all 5 starts this year, and he's been absolutely abysmal against left-handed batters with, I believe it's over a 500 WOBA so far in the season. So small sample size, but he's been getting rocked, and until we see anything different, definitely going to go with him. So get those left-handed bats for the Mets in there. So we're going to go, as we see, we haven't seen the Mets lineup yet, but projected we're going to see, Conforto in there, Walker probably in the 3-4 hole, Curtis Granderson might be a choice as well. So keep an eye on that, and then we're going to want to lock in those Mets into the optimizer as well. And then again, the Pittsburgh, probably more, if it's looking like a 30 to 50% chance of rain, we're going to find that here in the weather one more time, kind of look at the hour by hour forecast. Over here, looks like the rain possibly gets heavier as we get into game time, so that's a little more dangerous for the pitcher. Do like the wind blowing out for the hitters, so Pittsburgh is going to be another sneaky snack. People are probably going to avoid them just because of that rain, so I think you can get them at like a 2-3% ownership, and the upside is definitely going to be there against Jimmy Nelson, who hasn't really been that great this year. So if that rain does end up holding off, you get that game in, Pittsburgh scores 5-6 runs, I think you're going to have a huge advantage over the field, especially running 2 elite pitchers. Other than that, I'm going to post this video in the DFSR chat room as well as my stacks article for the day. If you have any questions, hit me up at Twitter at Jaeger_bombs9. Leave your comments below in the YouTube channel here. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. You're going to get notifications anytime I come out with new videos. I've been trying to do these baseball videos daily. Going to have a NASCAR video tomorrow, and then we're going to be working on some PGA stuff for next week. So good luck tonight. We'll talk to you all soon. See you in the chat room.